Okay, part 3.
That told them separation of church and state. They're agents for Rome. You can go in any poor community, you go before you get 3 blocks that way, before you get 3 or 4 blocks that way, before you get 3 or 4 blocks that way, before you get 3 or 4 blocks that way, you'll find a spy center. And they fund them themselves. They think it has something to do with Jesusness. They're spy centers, and they belong to the Jesuits of Rome, actually. And you're funding your own enslavement. Our people think Christianity means Jesusness. It means Constantine. The niceness, it means Constantine. Christianity means Jesusness. It means Constantine. The Nicene,
Write that down. Nicene, Niso.
Constantinopolitan Creed is the official name of what is presented to you as Christianity. And it belongs to the popes of Rome. It's a business hegemony system.
Write that down. Business hegemony system for further Google and other academic research.
And the Skull and Bones Agreement for the marching Negro leader guys who you think don't know this stuff is called a 501c3 agreement.
Nonprofit.
And because our people don't read and they don't understand, and say that's a 501c3, that's what the preachers get for teaching the word.
Love that shit.
Just get for understand, and say that's a 501c3, that's what the preachers get for teaching the word. They do. These so-called intelligent people that know God, Jesus, Allah, and Muhammad and everything. Yeah, man. See, because when you teach the word, you get a 501c3 agreement. See, and then the tithe is 10% for God's word. That 10% tax is Roman tax from Pope Sylvester II. You know, our people are so out to damn lunch. And the real horrible thing is that people you've trusted have been putting this on you and your generations, and this is where your suffering comes from. It really is. Come from the dark priesthood that you think love godness and Jesusness. Yes.
Going back to the brother's question here, what I'd like to know, is it practical to try to straddle the fence based on the question that he
Good
asked?
question. Say that again for everybody. Is it practical
to straddle the fence?
All right.
Based on my understanding of what his question was.
Well, let's put it this way, and we'll qualify it too. I think it's long been stated that you can't serve, and we'll qualify it too. I think it, well, let's put it this way, and we'll qualify it too. I think it's long been stated that you can't serve 2 masters.
Absolutely.
And that's called straddling the fence. It's quite difficult because you give jurisdiction trying to claim jurisdiction. Difficult because you give jurisdiction trying to claim jurisdiction. Difficult because you give jurisdiction trying to claim jurisdiction. Therefore, you must be clear on jurisdiction. Is why we've always taught jurisdiction, the nature of jurisdiction, the structure of jurisdiction, the trinity of jurisdiction. Therefore,
It's taboo. You know, they don't want people to know jurisdiction, but specifically subject matter jurisdiction. But I think that for our studies, we should definitely take another look at jurisdiction as a whole and put them in 3 subcategories that he just gave out right here.
you must be clear on jurisdiction. Is why we've always taught jurisdiction, the nature of jurisdiction, the structure of jurisdiction, the trinity of jurisdiction, status, jurisdiction venue, then adjudication, status, jurisdiction venue, then adjudication. Then there's what? How many types of jurisdiction? 3 in general, although there's 4. But what? How many types of jurisdiction? 3 in general, although there's 4, but in general 3.
Subject matter.
In personam jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction. In personam jurisdiction,
In your proper person.
subject matter jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction. Therefore, you must know the aggregate. You must know nation states, because they know our people don't know that. And so when you talk about territorial jurisdiction, they say, yeah, I was in Jersey last week. What? You wasn't? Yes, I was. This is a corporation created on paper. You know, you can't drive in Maryland. Well, Maryland is a corporation, so on paper. So you must talk about the aggregate land. That's why you got to.
I remember when I was doing my sovereign citizen research, it made a good point. It's like, can you really live in it, right? You can live on it if you're talking about a geographical area, right? But you can't live in it. And when you say that you live in it, you're talking about you're living in that society, that club, that municipality, right? When you're saying you're a part of it, that's your consent. That's your acquiescence to being governed by them. Knowledge is power.
Start claiming your land. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Our people need to know the difference between corporations and the natural living, breathing beings and the organic land. And if you don't have claim on the land, then they put you in the corporation because you're listed as a corpse. That's why when they do those licenses, they put all capital letters because it's in the ens legis.
ENS, not ends, ENS, not END, legis. Look up ens legis. Um, that's where you get the straw man. Um, uh, yeah, there's another one, but I can't forget. I can't remember.
Point. But this is what I say. This is what I say. As an example, people, Asiatics and Europeans too, and probably mostly Europeans because the middle class is being dissolved, so they're starting to expose more stuff. How many of you are aware of Lincoln Heights and some other townships or places in Ohio? And there's other places they ain't mentioned too around the country where they shut down the police departments. They had to park the cars. You know why? People starting to learn. They're starting to go after them bonds.
That part.
And they start putting these people first person. They don't say the police department did it to me. They said Freddie Johnson doing business as a policeman without a bond was messing with me. These people first person. They don't say the police department did it to me. They said Freddie Johnson doing business as a policeman without a bond was messing with me. And they tried to get me to pay a ticket. But I went in there and told the magistrate who pretended to be a judge, I came to get paid. Everybody else was paid. What's up?
And that just fucked my whole world up when he said that. 'Cause I'm just like, no shit. When you go into the courtroom, you're literally the only dumbass there that isn't on the clock. Judge there that's getting paid. They got the prosecutor there that's getting paid. They got your own lawyer there that's getting paid. And if you don't got a lawyer, they got a public defender that's getting paid. Everyone in that motherfucker is getting paid except for the peanut gallery, except for the sheep in the back, that don't even need to be there. Got to get your concepts right, though. That's why I haven't made too many major pushes because I know I got holes in my conceptions, and I don't want to um, sabotage the growth I've had thus far. So I'm encouraged to continue to revisit these videos and these knowledge, and I'm sharing these videos to share my path, uh, to share my progress and journey with you guys. We're in the same boat together.
It's a securities. Where isn't it? So this is more like less what's happening. But that's how you're supposed to look at it because it's an estate. That's how you can. So you're not so much serving two masters. You need to understand you have an estate that they've been hiding and controlling under color of law. Go ahead. So that fine line. So this is what we're doing. We're trying to clarify things so that people can make the distinction between the fine line. Because it's easy to step over the line. Because you got to know the difference between person and person. It's a nuance, isn't it?
Person and persons. You can barely hear the S when he says it.
And so what happens if these persons don't know the organic person from the corpse? Well, I'm Frankie, and I want a peanut butter sandwich. You know, or just like you set up here as an example, we can put an organic plant up here with dirt in it, growing nicely, and then we can get this plastic plant from Kmart and tell the people, come up here, we're going to test everybody, come water the plants. And then we'll see who puts water in both of them. And you know the one who puts water in both of them is either an imbecile or they're a minority. They got the mentality of a minor. That person cannot present themselves. They would be represented by a barrister from England because apparently they got the mind of a minor. They'd be listed as a minor, particularly if they start talking about human beings with crayons. First indicator.
Crayons mean black or white or anything like that. You don't ever hear the Chinese going in talking about how they're the yellow-skinned, uh, you know, crayons from, across the seas or anything. They're quick to be like, no, I'm Chinese, right? They got their nationality. They hold that, because that's where the law exists. That's where the rights exist, right? Only those who don't know the rights have none. And you got to know how the game's been played against you to really get ahead of them and really try to be the smartest person in the room. But there's just so much information out there. It really is overwhelming. It really is overwhelming. But I just personally, um, I'm just not going to live my life on my knees and just let myself get butt fucked by all these motherfuckers, who got in the know, from privilege and, um, you know, daddy owning all these banks and all this fucking crap. Fuck that, you know. And all these people that go to school for this shit, all these lawyers and, attorneys who really know this stuff and they realize it, but they're just like, fuck, I already put 8 years into this shit. What am I gonna do now? You know, fuck it, make that money. Cut your losses. I do my best, but there's only so much I can do with the ignorant.
So we got to clean that mess up for real because that's what's messing our people up. Partially, it's other things, but those things are keys. And those are code systems that the European quickly tells who his property is. Because a human being will never dishonor his mother and his father. Because a human being will never dishonor his mother and his father, for he recognizes his pedigree. Dishonor his mother and his father, for he recognizes his pedigree. So you'll never see
I don't even know my pedigree, to be so real. And I'm just being 100 with you. I'm still trying to figure that shit out.
a Chinese come up here and talk about where's the light-skinned yellow guy's organization. Never happened. He ain't giving up his birthright. So you see grown people, what I'm telling you, my light-skinned black girlfriend, that's property. And they confess it out their own mouth. Who you? Joey Smith. And I'm Christian too. Oh, all right. Black codes, and then they get mad. That's what the black codes are for. Such persons outside of human family. However, it doesn't apply to nationals. That's why you see nationals come from around the other parts of the world. That crap don't apply to them. So they're not burdened with that nigger tax. Are we clear? And it's structured right in society. It's not even hidden. It is just these people, they're hard-headed. You tell them that human beings aren't crayon? Uh-huh. My uncle's black. Yes? Well, you can take them right to a dictionary. Heritage Dictionary, and you'll see black is Middle English.
Being of the color black, producing or reflecting comparatively little light and having no predominant hue, having little or no light. Of or belonging to a racial group having brown to black skin, especially one of African origin. Of or belonging to an American ethnic group descended from African peoples having dark skin, African American. Doesn't exist. Color. Being a trail as for skiing, marked with the signs of having black diamond indicated a high level of difficulty. Solid as the soot dirty. Evil, wicked. Let's look at Wordnik. Oh, well, there you go. Look, everything here, adjective, 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 adjective. What does it say for noun? Achromatic color value of minimum lightness and maximum darkness. The color of objects that absorb nearly all light of all visible wavelengths. One extreme of the neuter gray series and the opposite of being white. Although strictly a response to zero stimulation of the retina, the perception of black appears to depend on contrast with surrounding color stimuli. Pigment of dye having this color value. Complete or almost complete absence of light or darkness. Clothing of the darkest hue, especially such clothing worn for mourning. A member of a racial group having brown to black skin, especially one of African origin. An American descended from peoples of Africa, African origin having brown to black skin, and African American. Something that has the color black. To make black. To apply black. And this is why it's important to get American Heritage Dictionary. I got my Black's Law 5th edition dictionary with all of my codes in there. Another good one, Underworld Dictionary. That's a fun. Can you see it? Underworld Dictionary. Oxford Etymology Dictionary. I got a couple more, but that's not important. I also got anyways, so we're gonna look up black. See how it comes out in the book. Because it's important. That's why it's good to have literature and not have to rely on the media. Like I said, I use DuckDuckGo as just a quick reference, but it isn't my authority that I use when getting definitions. Primary authority. Black, right? First word that comes up. Okay. Adjective. So it's already telling you black's an adjective. That's first and foremost. Then the first thing is color. Being of the color black, producing or reflecting comparatively little light, and having no predominant hue. 2. Having little or no light. A black moonless night. 3. Often black dot A are usually black A of relating to or belonging to a racial group having brown or black skin. See, that's where you get the connotative uh, definitions. Look up denotative and connotative. Um, it told you what the definition is right there. Then it goes over into the modern acceptances of the word, right? Used to describe, but they tell you right there it's an adjective. So why are you identifying as an adjective or a crayon, right? Like, aren't you a person, place, or thing, right? And then it goes later, goes into it. Um, See, this one they excluded in the, what is it, fourth edition? Uh, but when they talk about a member of a racial group having brown to black skin, especially one of African origin, B, an American descendant from peoples of African origin having brown to black skin, an African American, an Afro American. You don't hear that one often. But usually, like he was talking about when he was talking about black, Old High German, you got to look up the etymology of the word. And this is key to do. And I use online etymology dictionary as my go-to, right? Old English lake, absolutely dark, absorbing all light, of the color of soot or coal. Reconstructed to be from Proto-Germanic, okay? So that's Proto-Germanic, so I think we're talking, what, 14th century here? But the Moors and Moroccans and Asiatics, the Afro-Asiatics were around way longer than that, okay? Old High German, blah, black, Swedish black, ink, Dutch blackened to burn, from pie, blag to burn, to gleam, to shine, to flash. Source also from Greek, pelagian, to burn, scorch, Latin, flagere, to blaze, glow, burn, from root behel, to shine, to flash, and burn. The usual Old English word for black was swert or swart. The same root pronounced Middle English black, pale, from Old English black, running, bright, shining, glittering, pale. The connecting notations being perhaps fire, bright, and burned, dark, or perhaps absence of color. According to Old English definition and Middle English, it is often doubtful whether black, Blake means black, dark, or pale, colorless, wine, livid, and the surname Blake can mean either one of the pale complexion or one of the dark complexions. Black was used of dark-skinned people in Old English, of coffee that nothing added, attested by 1796. The meaning fierce, terrible, and wicked is from late 14th century. The figurative senses often come from the notion of without light, or moral or spiritual. Latin nigger had many of the same figurative senses: gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked, malicious. The metaphoric use of the Greek word melos, however, tended to reflect the notion of shrouded in darkness, overcast. In English, it has been the color of sin and sorrow of at least 1300 century 1300. The sense of with dark purposes malignant emerged 1580s in black art and necromancy. It is also a sense in black magic. So you see, this term only goes as back to like 1200, 14th century. So you can't identify with something like that. That's why you got to understand your bloodline, pedigree, where your ancestry came from, you know, down the line. Same thing goes for white and all the other crowns and adjectives. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, I'm done for today. Let me spend another hour trying to edit and post this stuff.